Welcome to another episode of ArtCo Drone Solutions. We've got a great show tonight. We're going to talk about the Autel Evo. And also tonight, we're going to talk about how important SD cards are, how they could make or break a good video. So stay tuned. We've got a great show tonight. I want to say welcome to Mike at GFO Drones and Tech Guy, Mitch, old guy in the drone, Jody, drone shots, welcome. Steve Mack, welcome to the show. All right, so we've already got a good crowd here. We got about 5-6 people watching already. That is awesome. Antonio Pereira. Oh, wow. Where are you from, Antonio? Are you from Central or South America? That would be awesome. Dennis Lovelady. Welcome. The four-eyed canine. Yes. All right. Welcome. So I got another flight. And how do I sound tonight? Do I sound okay? Okay, cool. I got to fly the Autel Evo today. This time I went and thank you, Mike. I went and got a U3 SD card because the cards I had been using were U1s, and one of the things that I noticed when I would edit the video that the video was wasn't very smooth. So I went and paid the extra few bucks and got a SanDisk Extreme Plus. That's the red and gold colored SD card, the micro SD card. And I used that, and boy, I noticed a big difference. The video was smooth as butter. It was smooth, and I noticed the picture quality was better, and I really liked it. So I went and got a couple cheapy SD cards. They were also 64 gigabytes. U3 is what they said, but they would not work on the Autel Evo. So once I get the Mavic Air going, I will try them on that. And if it doesn't work on that, then I'll probably relegate them to the action cameras that I have. I've got 3 SJ cams, and all of those are pretty darn good cameras. They're arguably, I could say they're pretty close to a GoPro, but not quite there. But I have 2 GoPros that are the Hero 3 Plus. One's a black and the other one is a silver. And the black I use a lot. I use for my opening intros, and then if you ever see my fishing videos, I use it a lot on my chest camera, so you get to see the action of me reeling in and landing the fish. Hey Mel, welcome to the show. Glad you could be here. Rick Halbert, welcome. So I use that quite a bit. And the other one, I sort of relegated to either underwater video or a secondary camera where you could see me fishing from a different perspective. So I use that quite a bit. So just waiting for some of my panelists to show up, and we'll get the show going. We'll discuss the importance of the video card. So let's get this on the road, and let's welcome our first contestant or our first panelist, Mitch, old guy and a drone.
Hey, hi Art. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. How do I sound?
You sound terrific. Sound
Okay,
great.
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good for you.
And how's the weather down there? I hear you got a storm heading your way.
Oh, it was gorgeous today. Just a beautiful day, but tomorrow it's supposed to go to hell, and we have a storm, and it's coming. The good news is it's not a huge storm.
Yeah, from what I hear, it's a Cat 1.
Well, it actually went down to a tropical storm today. They
Oh,
expect it to go back up to a Cat 1, but it's forecast to be just below hurricane strength coming by here.
oh,
Now, it
okay.
doesn't sound like much, but it's still enough to really, screw things up. You get a lot
Yeah,
of wind, power outages, stuff like
yep.
that. But
And a lot
none
of
of us
rain.
none of us are worried about it. There's no shelters, no evacuation orders.
That's good.
I
That's
did go out and fill up my gas cans this morning for the generator because, even in tropical storms, you are going to get power failures.
right. Mm-hmm. That's true. I want to say hello to JDS Flying Canuck. Welcome to the show. So yeah, I got to fly the Autel Evo
Good
today
for you.
and had a good flight. Uh, I went out this morning to fly the Autel Evo, and I had the the NetTac card in there, and I got everything set up and go to turn on my GoPro, and there's no SD card in it. Crap. So I put that away and I go to fly the drone, and the drone flies okay, but I just could not get any video or well, I could get video, but I couldn't record anything. It wouldn't format, uh, so that was short lived. So what I did is after that, I went online, ordered it on Best Buy, and did curbside pickup, which was cool.
Yeah,
So I like that.
we've been talking about that on a number of the streams. I know on Jim Above and Beyond Drones, we spent an hour plus talking about nothing but SD cards, and
Mm-hmm.
you can't screw with them.
No,
You can't cheap out. You can't try to beat the system. And there's so many cards out there that are just downright counterfeits
right,
that stay away from eBay and all that crap, and buy the card from a reputable dealer, Amazon, Best Buy,
right.
something like that. It's the cheapest thing about this hobby anyway, when you think about
That's
how much money you spend on everything else. And it's the
yeah,
one
yeah.
thing
That's true. It's
that'll
true.
screw up the final result of all the money and time you put in
Mm-hmm.
faster than anything is the SD cards. So
Mm-hmm.
you got a good one. The SanDisk Extreme Plus and the Extreme Pro,
Yeah.
never had a problem with either one of them, and
Mm.
they're excellent cards.
Yeah, what I noticed on it's just the Extreme. I think it was the Extreme Pro. Is that the one that's the red and gray?
It's red
I
and
think
black.
that's.
The Extreme Pro is red and black.
Oh, okay,
I don't know which
okay.
one is the gray one. I've never had one of those. Mine are all
Ye-
like red and tan and red and black.
Okay. Because the Extreme Plus that I got, that is red and gold.
And gold. Tan, gold. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. And boy, that works great. It downloads fast. I think they're about 95, 100 megabytes a second, which is good.
That'd be megabits.
Megabits, yeah. Agent K, hello, hello. Bob Casey and Tomas and Dad Random. Welcome, welcome.
Yeah, you get a nice little group here together.
Yeah.
So what you got on the agenda for tonight? You talked about SD cards.
SD cards, Evo. On the Mavic Air, I'm having an issue with the Fly app. It just will not download on my phone. It turns out I need a phone that has a newer OS. I need like
You can't. Even when you win, you can't win, huh?
right. So
funny.
what I ended up doing is I ordered a new phone. I went and got the Samsung. I think it was an A10 or A11, and that was listed on the phones that'll work with that. So hey, we got another panelist. Let's welcome to the show, Steve Carpenter.
Gentlemen.
Yo, Steve. Well, okay. Thank you for the compliment.
Well, take it while you can get it, Mitch.
How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing well, thank you. Art, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Just had a lot of fun flying today. I've got another video in the pipeline. It's all ready to go. I just need to upload it, and that was the video today, comparing the different video cards, the U1 versus the U3, and
yeah, don't ever buy a U1. Don't have anything to do with U1s.
I heard you talking about it. There's the ones that Mitch's talking about and everything. I don't know if I'll focus on it or not.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Extreme Pro micro SD cards. And they make the same thing on the other ones that I use in all my cameras. Mm-hmm. I have yet to have one fail. Other brands, yes.
They work. You can put them in anything. I put them in the GoPro, and they record without a hitch. I put them in any of my drones. They record without a hitch.
I've got a case for each one of my drones. I've got a case for each one of my camera bags. And guess what? They're in there. They're so inexpensive. They protect them. And then what I do is you'll see the red here. And I just use this for my own. And this has got a black gasket on this side. The black means they're unused. So once I pull it out, I put it over on this other side. And it's blocked here, but you'll see those are double layered. So you can put the micro SD underneath the full SD.
Oh, nice.
So you can put them in there when they're done recording. So if I've recorded, I pulled it out of the drone, I snap it in there, pull one out of here. And that's how I know that
nice.
It's been used or not been used.
Wonderful. That's a good idea. I like that.
I leave them in the drone. I leave them in the drone, and because they're so big that generally, and every time I take it out of the drone or device to copy stuff off of it, I put it back in the same thing. But I always look to see, how much free space I have, and if it looks like I should probably delete some stuff, I have folders on my 10 terabyte hard drive that I just copy stuff off. So I want to have it back. But meanwhile, it saved me a couple times. I went looking for something, and somehow the copy I had on my computer, I couldn't find it. Mm-hmm. And luckily, I still had it on the SD card even months later in the device because I hadn't gotten to the point where I erased it, and it was still there. So I found that I put it back where I got it, and it sits there. And if it's in a Mavic 2 and I don't fly it, then it'll still be there, and if I need it down the road, I've got at least one copy of it.
Right.
It'd be too confusing for me to try to keep them all in cases for separate devices. I don't do nearly as much with them as you do. You do a lot more photography, sunrises and stuff.
I've got one of those.
Yeah, and these things you can drive a car over them. I mean,
I've got exactly that same.
Yeah,
I've got that same exact one, but I've got one of them.
And like I said, I keep it in each bag. That way I know, because I know we were talking in a stream here. I think it was on Jim's stream that I have the higher capacity ones for the Mavic Air now because they'll go up to 128 gigabytes. Oh. And like you're saying, Mitch, for backup copies, That's a lot cheaper than buying hard drives. You can buy these
that's
chips
true.
and just put them back in their little plastic case and save them and mark them a date on them or something and save them and put them away.
I've got this little gadget here because this computer doesn't have a card reader. So I have to put it on this and then stick it in that. I have USB 3 and regular USB 2 on here.
Yeah, that's what we all do. We all have.
Yeah.
None of these computers, if they do have a card reader in the computer, it's probably way slow anyway. I know the one computer I have that has a card reader, it's so slow. I use this Transcend. Steve, share it with us. What are you laughing at?
Dennis's comment says you can drive a car over any SD card, Steve, but won't work anymore. But you can do it. Oh, Dennis, that's too good.
I want to say hello to Tom, 10 Toes. 10 Toes, I understand you got your toffee. I hope you enjoyed it. I got to figure out what we're going to do today for trivia today. Joe Blaylock, welcome to the show. Weedman Photography, welcome, welcome. So
everybody's got their different ways of backing stuff up. It's I think it was really funny when Sean Oz was talking about all the hard drives he has, and people do because it's an inexpensive way just to have the hard drive. I've got, because of my business, I have a NAS server, so I've got 20 terabytes of storage over there, but it's rated, so I've got 13.6, which is a lot. But you get people like Aldrin and from Flight Path and Sean, and that they are filming so much content.
Yeah.
You're talking having to have petabytes, not terabytes. You're talking about 1,000 terabytes of information, because the terabyte gets filled up so quick anymore.
And these files just get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And
4K, 6K,
yeah,
8K.
But even the 2.7K out of my GoPro at 60 frames a second, huge files.
Yeah.
Huge files. And it doesn't take much to fill up a hard drive. What I ended up doing was I bought a pair. I bought two of these 10 terabyte Western Digital my books. They're about almost $200 for 10 terabytes. I got two of them, and I don't have them actually mirrored where they write to both drives at the same time.
Yeah.
But every few days, I do a differential backup from one to the other, so that brings them anything that's changed or anything that's new. So with that, I have two hard drives that are not that are external to the computer, which is so if the computer decides it wants to blow itself up and burn up everything inside of it, including the hard drives, these two at least are outside. And I figure that if I ever had to and everything that I have on my network that I think I don't want to lose, and all the business stuff that I have, 10 terabytes holds a lot of stuff. If I have to evacuate for a hurricane or something like that, I just unplug those two drives, throw them in a bag, and no matter what happens, my whole house could blow away. I've at least got all my data, and that was less than a $400 solution. So I think that's
true. That's true.
Smart
I want to
idea.
say hello to Michael Wright. Welcome to the show. So, Mick, Steve, do you have a micro center near you?
Not near me, but there's one here in California.
Okay.
It's a ways away.
Yeah, we have one
that
here
is.
in Denver, and every so often Micro Center will have a giveaway where you buy something and you get a free SD card or flash drive, 32 gigabytes. And I've had pretty good luck with their SD cards. I don't know. I had them in the Phantom 3s, and they've worked pretty good on the Phantom 3s. But I don't know how good they would work on anything like a 4K or 1080p camera or drone. So
why would you want to risk it? I
oh,
mean,
well,
why would you want to save $5 or even $10 on the cost of an SD card, and then have to gamble that once in a lifetime whale jumping out of the water, eating a bird right out of the air that you filmed by accident, got lost because you had a cheap SD card in your device, whatever it was.
that's true. That's true. Hmm.
Kind of like with old, excuse me, Ron Lockwood, with those photos he got with the humpback wheels breaching. You know, if your card's bad, you're done.
Yeah,
Yep.
and why risk it? You know, and the greatest shots, the ones that get 10 million views
Yeah.
on YouTube, were all the ones that were accidents, that were the stuff that people shot without realizing it, and captured it.
And then the professional ones on their cameras, they're running, most of them are running
Dual
cameras
cards.
with dual memory cards. So they're writing at the same time onto it.
Yeah, and some of the new expensive cameras, I think, I don't follow the DSLR or mirrorless community. I don't use that kind of camera too much, but I know that when Sony and Nikon and Fuji, when they all came out about 8 or 10 months ago with their new cameras, one of them didn't have the dual cards in it, and that got ragged on by every reviewer. That was
Yeah.
the big fault. How can you make a camera this caliber and not have dual SD cards on it?
Well, especially people like wedding photographers and stuff, where
Of course.
it's the same thing. That's a one-time shot. To where if you see anybody that's worth their weight in gold, they've got assistants there, and the moment they're shooting that camera, they'll go to another camera for shooting. Their assistant's taking that camera, they're pulling the card out, they're putting another card in and downloading it to either another device or wirelessly, to where some of them, they're set up wirelessly to where it's going there, besides writing twice. They're not going to
And
take the chance to losing it.
And news reporters, news cameramen
Yeah.
that are out shooting news, they're doing the same thing. But it's just not worth it. If somebody says, here's a no-name brand 64 gigabyte SD card with a $28 value, and I'm going to give it to you for free, I say no thanks. I don't care. For free, it's not worth taking the risk putting it in the. Oh, Joe Blaylock says, I spent $400 on a 5 Well, you're just not old enough, Joe. Because I hate to admit this because it seems so stupid, but back in the 70s, I spent $5,000 on a 10 megabyte hard drive for the Radio Shack Model 2. $5,000
Yep.
for a 10 megabyte hard drive.
Hmm.
Yeah, megabytes,
Yeah,
not gigabytes.
Yeah, Dennis, you're talking about it. And the first hard drive for the Model 2 was a 10 megabyte, and it came in a metal case about 10 inches wide, about 10 or 12 inches deep. And I remember that because at the time I was doing some programming on the Radio Shack computers for people, writing some software, and I traveled from Orlando to Tampa and different places, and I carted that hard drive around with me, and I bought this big aluminum case with the foam in it, very expensive case.
The like
And I
photography.
remember cutting that out so that big hard drive unit, $5,000, $49.95, would fit in that thing, so I could carry it around. And I still have the case today, that aluminum case, and it's a beautiful, expensive case.
You should
But
have
every
gotten
time I
a
look-
GPC case.
Yep,
Go
now,
blue, go
this was
professional.
before the parents of GPC guy were ever born. So, but every time I look at that silver case today, it painfully reminds me of $5,000 Now, back in those days, had I taken that same $5,000 and bought some Microsoft stock
You wouldn't be
with
here.
the same 5 grand and not sold it, I'd be worth like $100 billion today. But no, I had to have
No.
that $5,000 Radio Shack hard drive.
Because I remember when the IBM came out with theirs, and they came out with their micro channel. The first one's out, and it was a 10 megabyte drive, and then you could get up to a 20 megabyte as an addition. That thing was selling for, like a regular desktop flat layer model. Those things were $6,000 for those things that we're going for.
Oh, Michael says he still has his Timex Sinclair 1000. I have one of those.
Yeah, the other one was the Atari. I had the Atari 800 with the cartridges on that, and then with the dual floppy drives you could get for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the is that the one that had the touch type keyboard instead of the
No,
regular?
It was a regular compression keyboard on it. Yeah.
There was another model that they had that was similar to the kind of keyboard that the Timex Sinclair had, where, yeah. And let's see, who was it? Oh, Joe Blaylock had the Commodore 64. Now, I wanted to get one of those because it had sound on it. You can actually do sound effects with it, which is cool.
Wow, Dennis. He's running customer management systems, including tape history for stores, but not including Blockbuster on a TRS-80 Model 1. Hello, Nathaniel.
Welcome, Nathaniel. Welcome to the show. And don't forget my merch at Teespring. I sell mugs, T-shirts, and all kinds of neat stuff there. And today is Claude Doulier's birthday today. Happy birthday, Claude, if you happen to see this.
Yeah, happy birthday. I already wished him happy birthday earlier. He's up north.
Oh, he's
kind of going like this because that brand new cart that he fixed up.
Yeah.
The clutch is, you can go up to the clutch and do this to it. It's wobbling back and forth after rebuilding that whole thing.
Oh, man.
The clutch went out.
Yeah, Timex thermal. Yeah. And I did get the, I think I got the 16K add-on memory module, and I upgraded the keyboard. So it was like a regular keyboard instead of that little teeny tiny, you gotta,
Yeah,
now,
like
now
that.
you're just making us feel older. You're just making us feel older, yeah. Back.
Dad Random saying they spent $10,000 on a 1 gigabyte drive the size of a small loaf of bread. I can remember us saying how it's impossible to fill it up.
You remember the disk packs for the mainframes?
Mm-hmm.
Where you'd open the top like a washing machine. You'd open the top of this washing machine size thing and lift this 2-foot wide pack that had 10 discs in it.
Yeah,
and held 50 megabytes, and cost $1 million. We have come a long way. Yeah, it's hard to believe.
In fact, our school was given its first. My high school was given its first computer, and that's when I got into it back in 1971 from TRW Systems. It was a Raytheon computer. It stood roughly, not quite 12 inches wide. It stood the height of a desktop, and it stood almost 3 feet deep. And then next to it was a keyboard, and then it had a tape printer, because that's how you tape printed for all the instructions to go into the unit. It's
Did it have a
memory.
monitor or did it use a teletype?
Oh no, strictly just have monitors weren't even around then.
It had a teletype. So
Yep.
you gave it an instruction and it typed back at you.
And of course, being the best typist in our computer class, I was the one that always had to type. And all it takes is one mistake, and you're going, "Damn, I got to start all over
yeah.
now."
No, I
Or you-
remember the paper tape. I remember punch cards.
Yeah, the IBM stack cards with cases of them, and that's
Oh, God.
and that's how they had the total memory in this unit was 64K of memory.
Oh, man. I
And,
want to say hello to Herman, Phantom Flight
Hey,
101.
Herman, how are
Welcome,
ya?
welcome.
Hello, Herman.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Well,
had.
I don't have no green screen for me tonight, Art. I'm working. You see that airplane behind me?
Yeah, I saw that. That actually looks pretty cool.
I put it's actually upside down in a stand. I
He's
pulled it out of-
practicing inverted flight.
Well, the battery the battery goes in and all the thing. I pulled it out of mothballs. I had this thing 10 years ago. I flew it a while, and then when I started moving around, I just never flew it. But I've been carrying it with me everywhere, and it's been hanging in my closet. So I hang them up by the prop. I just make a little coat hanger thing that hooks under the props, and they hang in a spare closet. So I just said, that's a huge airplane. It's a big airplane. I need to, with a huge motor on it, and I need to get it out. And today, I figure, well, we got this storm coming tomorrow. I'm going to be stuck probably in the house all day. This will be my project to get this thing ready to fly for the first good day we have. So I decided that rather than put the green screen down behind me and clutter the whole room up and put that away, I just leave it out there.
There you go.
So there it
Very
is.
good.
In case you were wondering what that strange looking thing behind me was.
What was funny is just real quickly go back on that thing with TRW. They had because Dennis was talking about all the punch cards and Mitch was just bringing it up. In order to make sure their operating system was working for all their test sites, because they tested the landing rockets for the lunar landing the Apollo system.
LEM.
Yeah, all the LEMS rockets were all tested out here. All that was tested out here on the site. And in order to make sure all their programming and everything was done, they had all these boxes of the punch cards. They would load them in at the beginning of every shift. And what it would do is it would print out on an old line printer. It'd print out like of a woman's profile naked sitting on a bar stool. And if any of those X's were out of line, there was a template code that would go over it, and it would tell you at what point and what it was, and that was where you needed to go looking if there was a problem with it. So we all got to come home with a printed out sheet that was like almost 4 foot tall of like a profile of this beautiful young lady, kind of topless, well, naked, but it's just the images and the outline of it. We got to the school and going, the principal goes, "Where in the hell did you guys get that? Put those things away." We got it from our field trip.
So are you guys aware that at this very moment the SpaceX
Yep,
capsule is getting ready to
pull away.
pull
Come
away? I
Wow.
don't know if you can see that, but there's the exterior view. It's in the dark. All you can see is that green light on it. But they're
Right.
getting. I was watching it before the stream on TV, but God, it takes forever to just shut the door. It's a good thing we don't have to go through that same procedure when we want to go out to the grocery store. It takes them hours to
Oh yeah. Well, you've got to
close the
test
different
everything.
hatches and do the pressure checks and suit pressure checks and vestibule pressure checks
And purging out the air that came from the station that's now in the capsule and get that purged out, so it's only the capsule air in there. So they're not bringing anything back to Earth that's coming from the station.
Wow.
Yeah, I had several friends that worked for McDonnell Douglas, and when the space shuttle was really in its heyday and stuff like that.
Mhm. Yeah, my sister used to work for Martin Marietta
Oh, okay.
here, and this was back in the 80s. So
Hmm.
I think they worked on the Titan 2 or the Titan 3 rockets. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, because I was listening to the replay of Rodney Bell's Coffee with Rodney and Friends this morning,
Right.
and they were talking about it and talking about the shuttle and the unfortunate things of Columbia and what happened. We take it for
Oh,
granted.
there it is. They're
Yep.
leaving. Let's see the cool.
Unbelievable.
It is.
It's awesome to you watch this and you think about what you're watching and it's happening real time.
Mm,
Yeah, who would have ever thought that?
Now it's they did a different camera. If you wait a sec, yeah, there it comes. It's back.
hmm
It's back now. I want to see them shut the lid. They got the lid on the lid that covers the nose cone on that thing is
Yeah.
up and
Oh,
is up
okay.
now.
Yeah.
And then that'll I wonder when they pull that back down.
hmm
I'm sure they're going to be way far away from anything before they decide to do anything.
That's
That
true.
space station takes up so much area up there with all its solar panels and everything else extended
yeah.
up there.
Well, they're docked right in the middle,
Yeah.
hmm
facing if there is a front of the space station. They're docked in the center.
Yep.
So when they pull straight back, they're pulling straight back away from all the solar panels, which are
Mm-hmm.
on each side of them, and they go back. I heard them say they did like a 1.5 second departure burn, and then they have those protective areas around the shuttle where
Sure.
they have to get out. I think they have to kind of drift slowly till they get outside of that particular thing before they start maneuvering.
Sure, because that pressure that they go to do will push the station off its orbit.
Yeah.
It could.
Oh, there's the
There
view
it is.
Oh
of the
boy.
station. Oh God, look at that!
Oh man.
Unbelievable.
I'll tell you what I was able to, my grandparents and talking with them, they were able to see, the stuff during the time of Orville Wright and the Bright brothers, and read about it and hear about it. But what we've gone through now, when you talk about science and the space shuttle and what, private enterprises, there we go, papers flying around. And what they've done.
It's a towel. Looks like a towel.
Oh, like the Hubble Space Telescope. When they first put that thing up, what they figured out is when they went to polish the mirrors and everything was out of focus, they had everything in the calculations were done in millimeters, not in imperial measurements. And so what they did to make that corrective lens for it, they were able to go back, watch the lens, take the measurements off from it, and then build that. So like putting in contact lenses on it.
Yeah, they gave it glasses. I remember watching that mission live.
Yeah,
they were broadcasting it when that thing is huge.
Yeah,
and they're pulling these huge modules out of it, like size of washing machines.
Phone booths. Yeah, the
Yeah,
one section is like the size of a phone booth, like you used to walk into.
I mean, they don't weigh anything, but they do have momentum.
Yeah,
Even in weightlessness, and they can still knock you out coming at you.
they just take you with it.
That's tremendous views right there.
Mhm.
But there again, like the space shuttle is done, and this is the new phase for space travel here that we have now.
Yep.
And you think about the Hubble Space Telescope, it's technically past its useful date. It's not. Supposedly there'll be never any more missions up there, and it'll eventually come down. Or they'll ejected off into a space, one or the other. I haven't heard
Right.
which way they're going to do it, but it's just like with all that billions and billions and billions of dollars that have gone into it, why wouldn't you at least try to keep it going longer? It works. Don't reinvent the wheel. It's working.
Yep.
Well, they've got some new ones that are, and some newer ones going up, which are, they're building one now. I saw some videos where it's the largest single camera sensor ever made. It's like, what is it?
3 feet? Yeah, it's like
3
a
feet
billion
square, and
megapixels.
it's made a billion meg. It's made in segments that all fit into this, and that's going to go up there. That's
Like the Keck Observatory is in Hawaii.
It's nuts. Oh no, that's not going up in space.
No, but I'm saying it's all those mirrors that they build together and put them all together. What they are is all the sensors that are put into a pattern, and then the software uses as one lens. Because you know the most used telescope here on Earth still to date? Mount Palomar. Mount Palomar. Still the #1 used telescope in the world.
Jaybird. Hey, Jaybird.
Yeah, hello, Joe. And then there is Akira Show, or Akira Show. Or,
your guess is as good as mine.
yeah.
Aki Rasho. I don't know how to pronounce that. Welcome anyway.
Yeah. But because living close enough here, I've been down on a couple of tours down there at the observatory with a group that you go down there, a bus tour, and you arrive when they're closing down. And then you go in and you get to watch the movie of how they almost lost that 101-inch mirror down the hillside after it was all said and done. And they finally got it up into position. You watch that. You're able to buy, souvenirs there if you want. But then you go up to the main telescope, and normally you'd go up around on the catwalk, and then they rotate the dome 360 degrees so you can watch everything that the dome would see from way up on top. Well, the night that we were there they were shooting actually during the daylight with their infrared sensors they had out there, and what they were shooting at was at the Horsehead Nebula. And so after we were done with that, you go in and you bring a bag dinner, lunch with you, and you sit down, and in comes this gal that looks like could have been my kid. 2 PhDs from Caltech, and she is our speaker for the evening. So here we are, and when we were in there at the very end, they were able to rotate the scope all the way down, so we were able to look straight up into the inside of that scope, which is rare. They don't usually let people in there at that time when they're moving the instrumentation around. But they said, no, we're unloading and there's not that many of you. Yeah, so come on in. So we all stood there, and then we were able to walk in underneath and looking straight up at that mirror up there. And then they have all the placement stands for recoding the mirror and upkeep of it, of these, huge stands in order to recode them. And when they're in there, when they were done, we go in there and she starts talking. She goes, oh, okay, here's what we were shooting. And here we're looking at what they shot. And they had already processed all this information from when we were there just before watching it. She's showing these stars being born right outside the edge of the
Horsehead Nebula.
Yeah, thank you. Horsehead Nebula. And they're showing, and they were able to shoot that during daylight.
Wow. Cool.
When I was a kid in Philly, we used to go to the planetarium. They have the Fells Planetarium in Philly. It's in the Franklin Institute.
Right.
And that was the thing that back in those days, and I'm talking in the 50s now, that to sit there, I spent more time watching the machine doing its thing than watching the show. I was more fascinated by that projector. and the
Yeah.
way that it moved and had the two rotating. I thought that was absolutely an amazing thing, and I haven't been back to a planetarium since. But
Oh, you should. What they've done now with the planetarium itself, the instruments are unbelievable.
oh,
what
I
they
can
do now.
imagine. But I don't have one. I really don't have one of any consequence anywhere near me here in Florida, which is culturally pretty well in the Stone Ages when it comes
That's
to
a shame
museums.
because
and
we've
things.
got Griffith Park for the Griffith Observatory in Los Angeles, and then we have down over in Balboa Park. It's the Reuben H. Fleet Science Center that's down there, and they have a planetarium in there. And then they also show what do you call it, like the IMAX movies in there
Yeah.
too. They run them in there.
Mhm.
And then on dark nights, they bring out telescopes because there's a big, huge fountain on the outside, just outside where it's there. If you ever see a Google or picture of it, it's a beautiful area. It's right over next to the zoo. And when it's outside, they bring out all their portable scopes that they've got, and they have it up there for night gazing, stargazing, and stuff up there. They'll have it up, and it's open to the public, and you can just go up there and watch and enjoy.
Awesome. Yeah, there's a big planetarium in Chicago,
Yeah.
and that's where my dad made the mirror for his telescope. He made a refracting telescope where you have the big mirror at the bottom that takes the light in.
Reflector, not refractor.
Oh, that's right.
Refractor, you're looking straight through. Reflector.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. He made a 6-inch telescope.
Wow.
Yeah. And he ground that mirror himself. Yep. He did that back in the 60s. And then when we lived in Michigan, I think we took it out a couple times, and the moon, it looked like the moon was right on top of us.
Mm-hmm. I've got what they call a Schmidt-Cassegrain.
Yeah.
It does the same
So,
thing.
is there a cure for that? Do they have drugs?
Yeah,
Okay.
they do.
All
It's
right.
it's called. You look at that, and everything goes away when you look through it. It's an 8-inch scope, but the tube is only. I mean, I can't really show you, but it's a little over 2 feet long, and it's the equivalent of being 2,032 millimeters. So the light comes into the back mirror, then it comes up to a front mirror, then comes back to another mirror, and then up to the eyepiece that comes up at the very back of the tube.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll have your 90-degree angle eyepiece on there. And I mean, when I was working at Disneyland, I had all the problems working when everything was going on, when Disney California Adventure was being built there, and we were working on all these different projects. And it would just be like, you take all your worst jobs you've ever been on, multiply it times 10. That's what it was at times there. I would come home, and it would be 10 o'clock at night sometimes. I'd go out here. I'd be out here till 3 o'clock in the morning and just looking up in the sky and just let all that stress go away. Because as I put it, it's like it makes us here, at least this is my opinion, it made me feel like being on here, I was a piece of turd on a gnat compared to the rest of the universe. And your worries just went away.
Good. And speaking of hope, let's welcome Chris Hope.
Mr. Hope.
What's up? All I heard was turd, and I'm a little scared to step in this mess.
That's Chris. That's right where we left you on Thursday night. Same hat, same sunglasses, same beard, same sunlight, same car.
Same car, yep. Yeah, I'm up here at the farm.
How you doing?
Just fixing to go home and eat supper, and I seen where Art sent me an invite, so I wanted to stop in and say hello to him right now.
Good to see you.
Hello
Good
to
see
you.
Chris.
See you, Mitch and Art, and Stevie, and whoever's in the chat, because I can't see it.
Well, it's the usual suspects, so
It's a good group of suspects, that's for sure.
Yeah.
yep.
No, it is.
like Mitch said last night on Kelly's show, it's a great group to be with.
And what's amazing is it doesn't matter what stream you're in or what show or what panel I end up on. It's all the same guys.
Yeah.
And we're like a big brotherhood, you know. It's
Big
terrific.
brotherhood, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, that's true.
Y'all doing okay
Oh,
today?
we were talking about the Autel Evo earlier today. My only complaint about the Autel Evo is the little door that covers the SD card, because it's made of plastic. It's not like the rubber one that's like on a DJI where you can easily just pull it out and open it up and get at your card. No, this is plastic, and you could break a fingernail trying to pop that little puppy open. So that's
don't
my
want
only
custom. They don't
complaint
want it.
about it. Everything else, it just it's a great drone, but it's a brick. I mean, it's got a huge battery on it, but it flies great. That's the only other complaint is and it's hard for me to bend down and pick it up. Where my Mavic Air, I take a pair of tongs and I can pick it up, and where this thing is like I gotta kind of pick up the front end and grab one of the arms and then pick it up that way.
Yeah.
You know,
It's-
Art, I
it's-
wouldn't put up with that. I wouldn't put up with it. It's completely unacceptable. You need to get rid of that drone, and I'm going to email you my address, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Just hold on. I'll come over and pick it up. You won't even have to send it to Mitch.
And I want to say hello to Mike Roach. He's in the chat, and he
Hi,
knows
Mike.
what I'm talking about. He's got a little gadget for picking up his Mavic Pro.
Yeah.
Then we have Sunrise Water Media.
Jay Bird, Mike, hello, 4-eyed K9, Mr. Love Lady, Michael, good group, Joe, AJ, Jay Bird, Steve Mack. Hello, I finally got my phone going now, finally.
Yeah, there you go.
And Art needs to stop being so stingy with the blue wrenches, I think.
I tell you what, you talking about the SD card. That's my only gripe on DJI stuff is the SD card. You better have a pocket knife handy.
Yeah, you
Get
need
the card out of the stuff.
here, you need these things.
Exactly. Yeah, they're the Osmo Pocket, the Action, the Phantom 4. Man, you ain't got long fingernails. You better have something poking with, push it out.
Well, you can always do the old ejection move, is where you take your fingernail and you push it in and then slide your fingernail out of the way so the SD card can unhook and come flying out.
The Mavic Pro, same way. You open up that door and you
Yeah.
got to push it in order to get it to eject out.
Yeah, and then if it slips while you're doing that, it ejects. I've had it go 20 feet in the air sometimes.
Alrighty.
Never to be seen again either. They disappear into that same black hole that the tiny whoop props go into, and
Yep.
they disappear.
And especially if you're in grass or any place like that.
Oh, are you kidding?
There we go. All right, we're up to 20 people. Cool.
Huh, that's interesting, Dennis. I missed Kelly's show yesterday, but he's saying people had green wrenches. Do you question? Do you have the app extension on Chrome when you were watching
That'll
be able to
turn them
do-
green, won't it?
to be able to go to the person's? Just click to be able to go to the person's site, so then it will be green.
Yeah, because I was watching. I mean, I had the chat running while I was on the show. I was actually on the show, man. I'm a big star now.
There you go.
Yeah, I was.
Did a good job,
was nice. Thank you, Chris. And,
Yeah,
and
I
I
watched
enjoyed
it.
it. I saw you in there, Art. Kelly, he's a hell of a guy. Nice guy.
Yeah, it
And
is.
no, I really enjoyed it. And you know, he and I are at that stage in FPV right now where we're pretty much discovering all this stuff about the same time. You know, our flying is progressing, and you can tell. I like talking to him about it because he mirrors the same excitement about it that I have.
Yep.
You know, and that's nice. That's nice. And he's going to build the same thing you're going to build, Chris. He bought himself a Tyra 119 also.
Can you get one? I'm gonna, well, I got it. It may be the fall before I start working on it. I got some new projects.
Get the. I mean, but you don't want to start flying that thing anyway. You want to start with the little thing, with the little.
Oh no! I want it right off the bat out here in the farm. I got plenty of places to lose it.
Got some trees you got some trees you want to cut down, cows you want to slaughter. That's your deal.
Plenty,
You got it.
Plenty. Yeah, I'm gonna get one of them. I'm gonna get one of them. When I get my radio, I'll get one of the little ones to fly around the house. And the little game y'all play, what's it called?
Oh, the simulator?
Yeah,
Velocidrome?
Velocitron. That's it.
Velocidrome. Yeah, that.
Mm-hmm.
I try to do that every day, even if it's just for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Because it puts the sticks in your hand, and you get the.
That's true. That's true.
Get the feel for
And
the
that's
throttle.
something I gotta get going on that. But you know, I've got to study for my recurrent exam, so I gotta get on that and
What, the 107?
yeah.
They still don't have a testing center open
They,
anywhere near me here. They're still
Oh,
closed. But they did come up with a way for you to extend your recurrency for 6 months.
oh,
Yeah, you basically go online
uh-huh.
and take the pilot's version of the recurrency exam,
Oh,
as if you were a licensed pilot, and then you print yourself a certificate that says you passed that, and they're allowing that to kind of stand in for the 2-year
I
recurrent
see.
exam until the testing centers open up again.
Oh,
'Cause mine
okay.
was
Yeah.
due.
well,
Mine-
that's good to know. I will check it out and see if the testing centers are open around me.
Yeah,
Because if they're
mine-
not open, then I'll do that. Thank you very much. That's
Yeah.
good thing to
was-
Mine
know.
expired. Yeah, mine expired on April 1st. I
Right.
mean, exactly, almost the same week that the world shut down with COVID. And in March, it expired March 31st, which meant April 1st
Right.
it was no good. March 31st it was good. April 1st it was no good. So I went
Wow.
on. I saw it on Jason. What's his name? Remote Pilot
Bardwell?
101.
Yeah.
No,
Chaz.
Oh,
Chafis.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
yeah.
Shep-
Shaggart or something.
Shepard.
Anyway, Shepard. Yeah, he was on Ken Herron's show back then, and he was the one that said that let everybody know that you could do this. And I said, "Oh, cool!" And I right away went right on the internet and found it. If you could, the test you can't. It's one of these things. It's one of these kind of tests you can't fail. You
Right.
have to watch that. You watch there's 5 little video things that you watch, and you take a few little 3-question sample things after the thing, and then you go to the main test. And you take the main test and you say, okay, I'm done, and it comes back and it tells you which questions you got wrong, and then says answer it again. So if you answer it again and get it wrong again, it comes back and says answer it again. And sooner or later, you're going to get it right. And then after you get through all the questions, you get 100. And everybody is guaranteed 100 on the test because you can't get a question wrong. If you get it wrong, it tells you try again. And it's incredible. But to find it, if you can find it and figure out how you're supposed to go ahead and actually take it, they should just give it to you anyway.
Yeah.
Because the puzzle of finding it among 10,000 different tests that they offer online, and registering on the education, the FAA education site to have to do it, and going through all the stuff to actually get to that and make sure you're on the right place is far more difficult than taking the actual test in the first place. And
Wow.
I did it a few months ago, and if I had to do it again right now, I doubt I would have to go through the same probably grief trying to find that. I have no memory of how I ever finally got into it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, because I mentioned that to you a while back, talking about that I'd heard about it, and they were given the lenience for it until they open up, and then you'll have to go take the test.
They gave you 6 months. You have 6 months from the time you take that to retake your. Now that test, the difference is this: if you're a pilot and you're current, okay, a real pilot and you're current, and you have a 107 on the side, they basically give you this can't fail nonsense test because they figure if you're a current pilot, you're up to date on everything because you're taking all those tests. So why should, if you're not a current pilot and you're just a 107, then they make you go take the recurrent test. So I thought that was at least lenient of them.
Well, even for a recurrent test for UAV, they have a test for that too. If the test centers are down, with the 6 month reprieve for it too. So if you're Part 107 only, not being possessing a private pilot's license, since the centers are closed, they have done a test that you go on, and at first it was only going to, But
that's the test. That's the test that I'm talking about. But but that test was not made specially for this purpose. That test was the test that a regular pilot has to take for recurrence. He doesn't have to go to a testing center. Doesn't have to pay $160.
No.
Doesn't have to do any of that stuff if you're a pilot.
Yeah.
So they just decided let the 107 guys take the pilot's test temporarily. At least we got we got something on them. But I have to go before October to a testing center and actually take the recurrent. Paid $160, take the recurrent test. So
Well,
that
that'll
I
be
can
in-
be turned. So that I can be turned down by a realtor when I say who tells me her grandson does all her drone work and she doesn't give a crap if he doesn't have a license.
Yeah. I've often. Is there any stories out there where the realtor gets fined?
Never.
I've get
Not that I ever heard. Not that I ever heard. Laws. You ever get the feeling sometimes that the laws are basically only for you and me? All laws.
And guess who abides by them?
Yeah, you and me.
Yeah.
Like the guy that defended himself against the rioters, and now they're prosecuting him. The guy who had came out of his house with the gun because they were rioting, and now they're prosecuting him. Here's a law-abiding guy. Do they prosecute the criminals? No. That's me. That's what would happen to me if I tried to lawfully defend myself. Somehow I would end up being the bad guy and end up being prosecuted.
Roger that.
From what I hear, the Missouri Attorney General has dropped the case.
They did. Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
Because that was embarrassing. It was embarrassing that
you
brought
you
the
had a knucklehead Obama appointee.
They're all knuckleheads.
Yeah.
I like what Dennis put in here. Mitch, ask that realtor if it's okay for you to sell a house.
Oh, I've done that. I did that already. But I did that. I actually did that comeback on one of them. That told me it was okay for them. They bought their own drone. They don't need a license. I said, well, I'll tell you what then. I think I'm going to. I've had a couple people ask me to see if I could find a house for them to buy, and they were willing to pay me a commission. I guess that would be okay too. And they, oh no, you can't do that. That's against the law, and you'll be prosecuted. It's okay for them to break the laws, but for the rest of us, we have to abide by the laws.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because their laws are more important than our laws.
Yeah.
That's all I can figure.
Art, I'm gonna cut out, buddy. I'm gonna go home, take a shower.
All righty. Thanks for coming in, and it gives me a chance to do Toffee Trivia. All righty. So today we're back at World War One.
Take care, Chris.
I'll catch
See
you
you,
on
Chris.
the
Have a great evening, Chris.
I'll have a good evening.
Drive careful, man.
Thanks again, Art.
All righty.
I'm waiting with bated breath here, Art.
Okay. Tell me the location of the first tank-on-tank battle.
Oh.
World War One.
Steve's Googling. I'm not even going to bother.
So first one to get that answer. And okay.
September 15th, 1916.
Well, you gotta give me the location.
I am, but I'm not going to let the people guess in there. I'm just giving you a hint.
Well, well, you got the first use of tanks. I'm talking about tank-on-tank battle.
Mhm.
Jay Bird, let's see. I'm going to see if he's got. Oh yes, we got a couple people. Yep, it's VA's Bretonneau is correct. All right, Jay Bird. Let's see it. I think he's 10 Toes came in second.
Be right back.
Okay.
All right, we'll still be here. All right. Well, Tom, you already technically you did you did get last week's thing, but it's the first time you've been close to missing. All right, Jay Bird, I believe I have your address. I will get that out to you probably Tuesday because I gotta go buy the toffee.
What about Steve Mack? That was the battle.
Oh,
You
yes,
asked for-
it was part of. But Steve lives in Canada.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So, and Steve won last week, and he gave it to 10 Toes.
Yeah. Well,
So, Jay Bird, you
Sure.
are the winner. But
yeah.
just in case I don't have your address, go ahead and email it to me, and I will. I know it's Cincinnati. I probably got it in my stack of papers in the kitchen. So, congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, Joe.
So you get to learn a little bit of World War One history. And hey, Roosevelt, welcome to the show. Fly Natural.
Roosevelt, how you doing, buddy?
Good to see you. The other person from Arkansas has come to the show. Mel was here early in the show.
Mel was just here a few seconds ago.
And, oh, he was? Okay.
I
cool.
thought I saw him in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there he is. 8:06, a couple minutes ago.
And let's see who else did I see? Oh, he did? Okay. History guy. Well, I know the history guy just did a video about Smokey the Bear. No, he was talking about the the campaign hat. You know, it's the kind of hat that the park rangers wear. He gave the history of that, and that was really interesting.
And that was on where?
The History Guy channel.
Okay.
He's a hat collector.
Okay.
He's got quite an extensive collection of hats, and which is really cool. And he's a neat guy. I like his channel. I thought that was great when Ken had him on his show a few weeks ago. That was pretty cool. Yeah.
Is he friends with Yogi and Boo Boo, though?
Lance, his name is Lance Geiger, and his father was a park ranger. He was part of the fire. I think, yeah, he was a park ranger up in South Dakota, and that's where he's originally from. There's a whole, if you like history, there's a ton of really good history channels out there. The one I watch is Time Ghost, and they've got several channels. They've got the Great War, they've got World War II is their latest, and they just completed the Cuban Missile Crisis, or as they would say, missile. How is that pronounced? Is it missile or missile?
Depends on what part of the country you're from.
Yeah.
It's all I say. It's they didn't fire. That's all I'm glad of.
Yeah, that's right. And there was one incident where it got really close to getting out of control. There was a Soviet submarine that was pinned down on near the bottom. They couldn't surface because we were dropping these depth charges on them. Not full strength, but they were called communication depth charges, and they misinterpreted what they were. They thought they were being bombed, and they were running out of air. The batteries were starting to die, and the captain and the commanding officer, they almost lost it, and they were ready to launch one of their nuclear tipped torpedoes right into the blockade. And,
Wow.
and if it weren't for the cool head of the political commissar, and they're on every submarine.
Right.
They're like the third tier to prevent stuff like this from happening. And
They're the political party on board the ship.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Hey, we got Bill, Coast to Coast Drones, and then we have Captain Cook. Welcome to the show.
Yeah,
Maybe
that
I-
was.
Roosevelt, yeah, nobody talks and then we all talk at once.
Okay.
Roosevelt said I look like I'm going to sleep, and I said to him, that's because I am. I woke up this morning about 4 o'clock, and you know, when we've got these hurricanes coming, it's tense. It's a big unknown. You know, it's like, imagine if you were the bowling pins down at the other end of the bowling alley, how you'd feel. You know, you when a bowler got up, you'd kind of size him up, try to figure out where the hell which way the ball's going to go, how hard is he going to throw it, how much damage is that stupid thing going to do when it gets here. And that's what it feels like sometimes living in Florida. You feel like the bowling pins, and Africa is the bowler, and they throw these things and they come and they hook in, and you don't know whether they're going to miss a little to the right or a little to the left.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
it's tense. And for the whole time that these things are coming, it
Mhm.
throws your whole peace of mind and good feeling off. And
Well, hopefully it'll be going like they're predicting it. It's going to just skirt you guys.
and it'll be weaker than some of the previous monsters that we've had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be that bad. I did want to say that the odds are that I'm not going to be having any live streaming tomorrow night, because at 8 o'clock tomorrow night is when we're going to be at the most direct part. That's when the storm is supposed to be right off our coast or right on our coast. And chances are, while I might not be getting blown away, odds are I will not have power.
Okay.
Or it'll be blinking on and off. And you know, when you're live streaming, either the internet goes out or the power goes out or something goes out. So if the power's working and the house isn't, you know, if I'm not flying through the air like Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz, I want to try to do it, with the caveat that it might just go click at any given instant. So we'll see.
You don't have a T1 connection, Mitch?
T1.
T1. There's something I haven't heard in 20 years, man. T1.
1.5 megabyte.
Oh my God! Do you remember that? That was big time back then. Then they had T3s. Remember the T3s? That was really, if you had a lot of money, you get a T3.
Take two T1s and parallel them together.
Yeah. No, I remember those days. Yeah. Wow.
Well, nowadays you can just go, which we'll soon have nearby here, but I don't know if I'm going to have to remortgage my house in order to hook it up as gigabit Ethernet.
Yeah.
They're got that Starlink thing. When they get that Starlink constellation up there, that could very possibly change internet the way we know it.
Yeah.
Put that little receiver up on your roof with the antenna, and I think the speeds are supposed to be pretty respectable. We'll see.
Well, you won't need that. Just wait till 5G comes up, and you'll have twice the speed of gigabit internet on 5G.
I suppose.
There you go.
Roosevelt saying, "Send the Santa Ana winds over to you to blow the hurricane out of Florida."
Yeah.
So instead of the hurricane hitting them with high winds and everything on this side, the high winds will just go across and take it across the whole entire center of Florida instead, and we'll just do more damage.
Yeah, this one, none of us seem to be worried about this one, because it's right now it's a tropical storm. It has degraded. They're saying it might become a Cat 1 again when it gets around South Florida, but then it should be back to a tropical. Now, tropical storm can still be up to 70-mile-an-hour winds with higher gusts, and it can still do some damage, take down some trees. It's not going to blow any roofs off any houses.
Right.
So the past 3-4 years have been pretty heavy with hurricanes, and pretty big ones, Cat 4s, Cat 5s, and everybody around here is used to worrying about, 130, 40-mile-an-hour winds, the kind of winds that took out the Caribbean there in the Bahamas, in Marsh Harbor that last time. It damn near leveled that whole island.
Yep.
And so now we got this pissy little almost Cat 1, and everybody around here is just yawning, they're yawning. No lines at the gas stations like usual. Nobody at the big lines at the grocery stores. No evacuations, no shelters, no nothing. So I may be the only guy concerned about it.
I think you are, because I'm looking at it right now. There, like you're saying, the wind prediction. That, to me, it's the wind is the worst damage.
Yeah.
Because rain's going to rain. You're in Florida, it's going to rain.
Hey,
they're not even calling this a wet storm.
We have drone effects. Welcome, Claude, and happy birthday to you. So,
happy birthday, Claude.
Hey, happy birthday. Happy birthday.
It is time for Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Claude. Happy birthday to you.
You finished?
Art,
Happy birthday, Claude.
that was very nice of you, but keep your daytime job.
That made my brain hurt.
When you hit that one note, it was like.
The girls love it at work. I think it's because they like the attention.
Are you using the term girls loosely?
Well,
We used to- We
He's already gotten into trouble several times over there. So
one of my when somebody calls somebody a girl, one of our favorite expressions was, yeah, she was a girl when this town was a village.
well, hello, EBR FPV.
EBR Erwin, how you doing, buddy?
Herbert.
Good to see you.
yeah, I think it's just going to be able to go the way that I'm looking at it and the prediction models that I see. It's just going to you're just going to get some rain and some wind a little bit.
Yeah.
Nothing
how about
compared.
The
Little
folks in Hawaii, they got kind of, well, they had that hurricane that went by, and it was pretty close, similar to the one that's coming your way, Mitch. But that one, I think, was a Cat 1, so they got quite a bit of wind out of it. Mostly in, I think it was in Maui and Molokai that really got the brunt of.
Well, do you remember? It was about 15 years ago. A hurricane damn near leveled Kauai.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yep.
Mhm.
They get strange weather out there. We were there in May. This is going back many years ago. In fact, it was when we went to the Keck Observatory. We had rented a Jeep, and we were able to take it up to the Keck Observatory, and we're up at 14,000 feet. Now,
Yeah.
mind you, this is May, like the 10th of May.
And it's
There's
cold.
still snow
Snow.
up along the edges of the observatory.
Yep.
So we pick up some snowballs, and we're having like a snowball fight, taking pictures to keep as a remembrance. All of a sudden, we're standing there, and it starts to like light snow. It was just these clouds going over, just releasing enough moisture, it starts to snow. So 2 days later, we're over in Oahu, and I'm in the shower, and my wife's calling, Steve, get out here, get out. I go, what? I go, I'm sopping wet, full of soap. She goes, get out here. So I grab a towel, emergency come running out. 7 inches of snow had fallen overnight on the observatory up there. And here are all these kids with their boogie boards for body surfing.
Yeah.
And they're up there using to slide down on the snow on the edge of the runs up there.
Oh, man.
So when we went down to the bar that night, I was telling the gal, the gal that was our waitress, that saying, "Uh-oh, he knocked
Okay,
himself
Steve.
off."
All right, now let's see if we can get his show removed from YouTube.
I wouldn't do that to him, but let's
No.
give him some trouble.
How long does he? There he is. Okay.
Oh shoot!
I wondered how
Wow.
long he had before the thing would drop the stream if he stayed gone.
It stays on until he turns
It
it
will.
off.
Even if
Yeah,
he, if he
Jim
got logged out.
had his going for 45 minutes when I when I got a hold of him. I go, "Hey Jim, you know your stream's still going?" And he goes, "What?"
You need to-
he goes
you need to
back
end
on
it.
and go shut it off.
I remember that after the show, it just kept in my feed. It kept saying live, live, live.
Well,
Where'd
I
you
say
go, Art?
hello to Arizona Drone Dude. Welcome to the show.
No, Agent
Yeah,
K
that
wants
was
me to
weird.
sing.
All of a
No, you
sudden
don't
it
want me
just
to
went
sing.
boop.
Agent K, you do not want me to sing. It's a terrible thing.
No, that's what Dennis, Mr. Lovelady, is for. He's
Yeah.
the entertainment captain, droner of the community. Not
There
only
you
does
go.
he sing, he plays the ukulele too.
Yeah.
We need to get Wendell on.
Oh, that guy is great.
Yeah, he's good.
How about Tater? We get Tater on.
And Tater,
Tater's-
too.
Tater's very talented.
Yeah, he is. He is very talented.
Hmm. Oh, and Ken Herron. He's not bad.
Ken's
sang
okay. He uses
Steve and I are
the
sitting
echo
here
effects.
very quiet.
Yeah.
Steve and I are
Oh,
sitting
yeah.
very quiet.
He uses reverb.
I'll tell you what. I kudos to him though, because he sings a hell of a lot better than I sing. So I'm not one to criticize anybody, except you, Art. I can criticize you.
Bumbleway.
Oh no! Claude saying his Mavic Air
Mavic-
2 found a tree tonight.
Oh,
Is it
uh-oh.
still in the tree?
Uh-oh. Well, it's better a tree than a lake.
Yeah. Hopefully he can find someone nimble to get up there if it's still up there.
Hmm.
Joshua Bardwell has a video of 14 ways to get your drone out of a tree.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Seriously. And it's a good video full of some great ideas. So if you
Yeah.
ever get your drone stuck up in a tree, he's got some good ideas there.
It's like a collapsible
Amber
boat.
alert.
Yeah. For what? Winds? Lightning? Oh, Amber
No.
Alert.
Amber alert, yeah. So
Missing child or something.
2002 red Acura
Oh,
TL
okay.
with off-color
Keep
trunk.
your eye out for that, Steve.
I will.
Me
Be
too.
heading,
No, like-
heading
Heading
is
west.
it heading east or west? So if I
Well,
have
we
to
got
watch
'em.
out or Mitch.
We got them covered. Either way, we'll catch them. We'll get them. We'll get them. So, Steve, haven't you heard yet that Hawaiian shirts are now the mandatory dress code for all live streams?
Hmm.
No, I heard it is though for Rodney Bell's because I rewatched his Sunday
Well-
morning coffee.
Where do you think it came from? Who do you think started the Hawaiian shirt business?
You.
Me, and then Ron, 3X Drones, man, Hawaiian shirt king of the world.
Yeah.
So I mean, look at what I did for you guys tonight. Look
Yeah,
at this one.
ooh, that's
Man, look at
snazzy.
that. Yeah. So I think it's a good trend. It's fun. So you can come up with the most outrageous, obnoxious looking Hawaiian shirt.
Well, I'll have to dig through my collection then for next week,
Okay.
and I'll make sure I have it on for your show and for Art show.
There you
All
go.
right. I saw Rodney with the Hawaiian shirts. I got such a charge out of it. I thought it was great.
Well, he had his just T-shirt on that at the beginning, and then they were harassing each other back
Yeah.
and forth, and all of a sudden he disappears, and the next thing he knows, ta-da! He's got his Hawaiian shirt on, and poor Tim from Australia, he's still sitting there. His T-shirt goes, "I don't have any Hawaiian shirts, but I'm going shopping tomorrow." Or today.
Carlos. Ed came on my show Thursday, and he had a Hawaiian shirt on, and
Yeah.
and then Carlos, he was running around asking if he could borrow one of his wife's blouses, and they had nothing, so he has to go out. He has to go out and buy a Hawaiian shirt now. So I didn't mean to start this. I only have two kinds of shirts. I have Hawaiian shirts and T-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. All I ever wore in my whole working life, in my career, and even going out, even with a sport jacket on top, I always wore Hawaiian shirts, and I got just a closet full of them that I haven't worn this shirt here probably in 10 years.
Yeah.
I've got a whole. So it's. I started wearing them on these live streams.
Hmm.
Because
No,
it was
Joe.
either that.
No, Joe, it's not going to go there. No way.
Want him spank the monkey to climb the tree. Okay.
No Speedos. Yeah. It's so funny because you go over to because I've been to Hawaii several times, and on the only island I've not been on is Kauai. And you go there, and I'm talking with people, and I've met business people there and stuff when I've been there too. And you see them all, and they're all wearing, very nice Hawaiian shirts.
Oh yeah,
they don't wear a jacket or anything. It's just Hawaiian
shirts,
really nice Hawaiian shirts.
And nobody tucks their shirts in. I mean, you walk around with a shirt tucked in your pants, people look at you like you're from Mars.
You're the tourist. We know who you are.
Yeah. Kauai, I was in Kauai before it was destroyed by the big hurricane.
Yep.
It was 25 some years ago, probably. Spent a week there. It was gorgeous. And went on the helicopter tour.
Yep.
You been to Kauai, Art?
Yep, I have. Went to Nanny Mao Gardens. And, beautiful.
Just lush, beautiful island. Yeah.
And that's why it's called the Emerald Island, because it's so green.
Wettest place on earth.
And then it got leveled pretty much.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I went there. I was on Oahu and the Big Island, Hawaii.
Well, Kauai is one of the oldest islands. The northern ones, I believe, are the ones that were formed first.
It's moving north, yeah.
And the plates are moving over the hot spot, and every time it erupts,
Hawaii's the newest.
Yeah, every time it erupts, you get a new island. And
actually, Midway is the oldest because it's technically part of the Hawaiian chain.
Really?
Way out. Yeah.
That's a big difference between Hawaii and Midway, though.
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Maui is really my favorite island.
Maui's beautiful.
Yeah, and you take the Hana Road on the east side, and you drive the Hana Road up into the rainforest on the east side, and one of the prettiest drives I've ever. Just switchbacks back and forth. And then there's a little restaurant up there that you stop and eat at, and turn around and drive back. But that was and then if you want high class, you go to the Ritz-Carlton at Kapalua, and now you're in a big time resort. They had everything there. It was a great island.
Yeah, I've been there years ago. It's been years since I've been to Maui, and we took a helicopter flight where we flew for the morning sunrise flight over Haleakala, and you hover on the outside of the crater, and then you wait for the sun to start rising on the inside, and then it pops up, and then you go over and into the crater.
Oh, cool.
To start it. But then we flew down the coast, and actually I was there, my first wife, there on our honeymoon, and another couple. It was 4 of us in the helicopter. And the other gal started having problems with her equalization of being so high and coming down so quickly. Right. So he hovers back up, and then he follows the coast a little bit on the edge of the crater, and then comes back down. He says, well, let's see if we can find some waterfalls. 1,149 waterfalls between where we came out of the crater in order to get down to Hana. And the pilot goes, I just turned to him, because you've got your headset on and everything. I said, I'm just going to take your word for it.
Yeah, there's nothing but waterfalls. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. I haven't been to Hawaii in a long time.
That's what's really fun is on the Big Island, because there you go from the wet side. There's an extreme difference there between the Kona side and the wet side. And boy, I'll tell you what a huge difference. Mm-hmm. But we landed there. We could have champagne brunch that they brought for us, because the pilot obviously can't drink.
Yeah, that's true.
And then we were on the ground for about 45 minutes because we had to wait for the time for the airport to open up again because of you weren't allowed to take off. You could land, but you couldn't take off. So then we took off, and then we flew up, clear up the other side of the island. And I'm trying to think of the name of the chopper. It was a French-designed chopper that looked a lot like a Bell Jet Ranger would be, but instead of 500 horsepower, 750 horses on this bird. And I mean, it's elegant compared to it, and a lot smoother flight and a lot cleaner flight. And we got to what they call over there at Pineapple Hill. We came up over the top of this rainbow. He took us down into where this waterfall was coming down, brought it down into there. So you look at the rainbow from the rotor wash. We came back over the top, and then he just goes, "Steve, this is for you." And he tilts that chopper back, and there we go at 160 knots, just flying across all the pineapple fields all the way back to the other side.
Hey, we got a TV station, KJTV 15.
Where are you broadcasting out of?
I'll have to look that up, KJ.
Yeah, look that up, Art. Maybe they're doing a story about you.
There we go.
No pictures, guys.
We got busted, Mitch. When he dropped
When
out,
Art was going,
he must have called the authorities.
You think he's going to find out what we did when he was gone?
It is from Lubbock, Texas.
Well, okay.
Cool.
Well, whoever it is, they're laughing emoji. So, are you from Lubbock, Texas?
No, this show is out of Denver, Colorado.
No, I
It's
mean
a coast to
where
coast
they're
show
from.
here, Art. You got the whole United States covered here, from coast to coast.
All right.
Steve, I'm 6 miles from the Atlantic Ocean. You're 6 miles from the Pacific Ocean, correct?
Not even.
Okay, and Art is somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. Stuck in the middle with you.
Yeah, there you go. It's an Art sandwich.
Yeah. Katy, Texas is where they're from. Oh,
Katy,
all right,
Texas.
cool. Cool. Well, welcome to the show. This is mainly a drone show, but we talk about drone tech. We talk about action cameras and video editing. I mean, we talk about all kinds of stuff related to drones. So
Astronomy, astronauts coming back to space.
Yes.
Any subject, basically, that comes up.
Yeah, if you would have tuned in earlier, you would have watched the capsule with the two astronauts on board detaching from the space station.
They had, the live stream, they had, hundreds of thousands of people watching.
Oh, I know. It still is.
Think of the watch time. Think of the watch time. Holy cow. How much watch time did you I don't know, 8 million hours.
There you go.
In the last 12.
I look at some of these big YouTube guys, and I see a YouTube video, and it says like 2.5 million views. And I look at the thing, and it says 5 days ago. Published 5 days ago.
Well, there's almost 90,000 still watching right now on the NASA
Really?
channel.
Yeah.
Wow.
And now, what are they watching? The astronauts are putting on their pajamas. They're going to sleep.
Yep.
They got a whole, it's like a flying from New York to Hong Kong, in a DC-3, because it's going to take them 20. They're not coming back till tomorrow night.
Yeah.
They got a 24-hour little journey here.
And they've got all the testing that they've got to do on that aircraft because this is the first flight for it. So now we're going to do everything. We've got all these other tests that we're going to do, just like we were talking about how long it takes to disconnect from the space station. You don't really think about the intricacies that have to be done because all it takes is one little oops.
Yeah.
And it's
That's
not
true.
only the spacecraft; it's the life of the astronauts, or it could be the lives of everybody on board that space station too.
Well, the
And
good
you
news
gotta
is they've flown the cargo capsule any number of times. So the
Yep.
capsule, the basic capsule design has been proven, and they're going to do a splashdown. That's the coolest thing.
Yeah,
Because if you remember, the last time they did a splashdown, half the people that we know weren't even born yet. It was in the 70s that they did the last splash, the end of the Apollo program.
Yep. Apollo's the last one.
Yeah, and then of course the space shuttle came along, so they didn't need to land in the ocean anymore. So this
Nope.
was
So who was the astronaut that almost lost his heat shield?
Lost his what?
I
Heat
know who you're
shield.
talking about. It was God, it's a long
I
time
believe
ago.
it was John Glenn.
No, I don't think it was. I don't think it was. I think
When
it was
they told him to
Gus Grissom, maybe.
no, that was after he landed. The what happened was he had one of those capsules where
Tom Hanks. That's lovely. He says Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Spot on, Dennis.
That's funny. Right on, Dennis. Dennis, way to go. Way to go. Dennis.
I think it
This
was
for
John
you,
Glenn
Dennis.
because they had a warning where it looked like the heat shield was,
Well, was
not
that
seated.
Apollo 13? Was that Apollo 13? Was that at the end of the Apollo
No.
13? I know everything else went wrong on that mission.
Yeah.
On that
Yeah.
mission.
Well, what
That was
they
the
told them
Mercury.
to do was, on those Mercury capsules, they had a retro rocket pack.
Yeah,
below
there was one mission where they had to leave the rocket pack strapped on to hold the heat shield in place, and I'm
Yeah,
trying
I
to think
think
who
that
the
was John
astronaut was.
Glenn.
Was that John Glenn?
Yep. And what happened with Gus Grissom was that
Is he the
his
one that almost
hatch
drowned?
flew prematurely.
He almost
Yeah.
drowned. He got in the
Yeah,
water.
because
Yeah,
his
that's
capsule
what I
started
was
filling
thinking
up
of.
with
Yeah.
water. Yeah. Mhm.
And that was the one where they were trying to blame him, and it turned out to be the faulty seals is what the problem was.
They're not
And they
doing that
recovered
anymore. They're not.
that capsule several
Did they?
years ago.
They're not doing it that way on this time. This time, the guys stay in the capsule till the capsule's on the boat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they don't. They recover the capsule, take it back to the recovery ship, and then hoist it up on the recovery ship. Then let the guys out. So because they're using that side, because they're going to come out the side
Oh,
side
come
door,
on,
not
guys.
the top door.
Come on, get that boat over here.
I want to.
There's-
That's what I want to see. That's what I'm waiting to see. I want to see how they're going to pick that thing up.
Yeah.
They have recovery boats with cranes on them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
But I want to.
Oh,
I want
oh.
to see. I want to see that.
we'll see it live if you're around to watch it, and I might if I have electricity because of the stupid storm. I might get to watch it too, or I'll be on my live stream and we'll stream it and keep
Just
it going
get
in
a
the
kite
background.
out there with the key on the end.
One thing
Yeah.
I
We'll
didn't
have
hear.
to
Where are they? Where's the recovery location at?
Pensacola.
With the hurricane coming through?
The hurricane's nowhere near Pensacola. Is near Alabama. It's the way west end of Florida, over the Gulf of Mexico. The hurricane isn't going. The hurricane won't even be making a ripple over there.
Well, I'm
Oh.
showing the winds being across all the way to the other side.
Yeah, but
If
the
you look
other
at the
side of
National
Florida.
Hurricane Center,
Yeah, but look at Florida, Pensacola, compared
It's
to the
right up there
distance
by
across the
Panama
state.
City.
It
Yeah.
goes all the way to the end of the Panhandle. That's a
Yeah.
long way from the Atlantic Ocean.
yeah.
A long way from the they have 7 different recovery zones, 3 in the Gulf, 4 in the Gulf, and 3 in the Atlantic.
Yeah.
The idea was to land it right out here, plunk it in right off of Cape Canaveral. That would have been
Yeah.
easy. But no, out in Pensacola, they won't have any problem at all with the storm.
Well,
He says optimistically.
if FK can't fix it, yeah, exactly, Dennis.
Now they're talking about a moonshot by 2024.
I thought we'd be on Mars by then.
No, I think that's going to be in the 2030s. That's when that's going to happen. So that's going to be cool. I'll watch the moon landing. It'll be like reliving when we were kids and watching the first moon landing, and then we'll watch it again. It'll be like 60 years later, 50 years later, and they're back. Cool.
But we'll be watching it in 4K.
That's true. That's true.
According to some people, we never went.
Well, yeah.
According to some conspiracy theorists, we never went. So
all I can say is people must be doing some really good job with the Hubble Space Telescope when they're being able to pick everything up on it.
It's like the flat Earth guys. They're at it.
Well, did you ever see that movie Apollo 18?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
I did.
It's the dumbest movie I ever saw.
Hey, Bill.
What was it? Was it like
Drones,
gorilla?
welcome to the show.
Was it gorilla monsters on the moon or some kind of?
The rocks come to life.
Yeah, that's right. I knew it was some ridiculous thing. Here, I'll be right back. Hang on a second.
That was crazy. That came on TV here the other day, and it just came up like a recommendation, and I thought, Apollo 18. Why wouldn't I hear of it? I mean, because I follow the space program since I was a little kid, and I'm going, oh my Lord! When they go up there, crawling the Russian spacecraft down in the crater.
Yeah.
That was insane.
Now, did you guys know that Nixon actually recorded a speech in case Apollo 11 didn't make it?
Yep.
Apollo 11 or Apollo 13?
Mm-hmm.
That was a fake.
What was a fake? The speech?
Yep. He never recorded that.
Mm-hmm.
That was the best fake ever made. This is what they did: is they took AI and they were able to take some of Nixon's recordings and video.
Yeah, he had a few recordings too, didn't he?
Make what looked like a true video. He made it look like it was of the day, the type of recording you would see where Nixon, came out. Yeah, deep fake. That's right, Agent K. I heard about it on one of the conservative radio shows that I listened to.
Take care, Dennis.
Good night, Dennis.
See, as we're talking about space, I'm going to show you guys some cool piece of memorabilia that hangs in the office on my wall. So go ahead and make my screen bigger if you know.
Oh, okay.
And I'll tell you.
How do I do that? Oops, I gotta do that. And how do I?
13.
You either you either hit one of the buttons that puts you on the side and me and bigger in the center.
Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. Yeah.
That's you. You made you big. Okay, so no, you can't do that.
Just do the same thing.
Make yourself small. Down on my icon, there's a button up at the top of the icon.
The
not
three
that
dots.
says remove, but it'll make it bigger. It'll make me big.
There you
go.
Okay. Go. All right.
Okay. All right. So what this is a copy of the Apollo 13 DVD. Okay. And I'm going to zoom in so you can see what's on here. This is Tom Hanks, Ron Howard, and Jim Lovell.
Yep.
Wow.
Holding this very DVD that's in the frame here, which they signed. They all
Wow.
three signed it. And if you look at the DVD, see if I can get it here. You'll see there's the signatures. There's Ron Howard
Ron Howard.
and Jim Lovell
Yep.
and Tom Hanks down at the
Tom
bottom.
Hanks.
And there's a DVD in there too. And there's also a Apollo 13, a real Apollo 13 mission pin,
Wow, cool.
which is supposedly the only real Apollo 13 mission pin that is actually not owned by somebody that was involved with the mission. And the deal was they did this for charity,
Fundraiser.
a fundraiser, and then they auctioned it off. And I ended up getting my hands on this whole little thing
Cool.
framed, and I really I bought it not because I thought it would be really worth anything. I bought it because I was just enamored as to what it represented. That still one of my all-time favorite movies of all time, Apollo 13.
Yeah.
So I thought you guys like to see that. It's
Oh, I
see it.
love it.
You don't see that every day. There you go. Make me small again, Art.
All right. Well,
That's one of the best movies. And anytime that movie's on, I watch it. I watch it every single time.
I've
In
got
fact, my wife called me up to say that it was going to be coming on. It was on in here just not that long ago again. She goes, "Hey, did you see it was going to be on?"
Yeah. I've got the DVD Blu-ray with the DTS sound
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
and the scene where they take off, the rocket takes off. I cranked that up so loud that my house actually literally shakes.
Oh yeah.
And it's absolutely the most awesome thing in the world because the music that they play behind it, if you remember the music in it, it was just fabulous when they did.
It's playing in the back of my head the moment
Yeah.
you showed that picture.
Yeah.
Okay, here's some
great movie.
trivia for you. Name the
Is there
astronaut.
is there candy involved?
No, there isn't on
Oh,
this
okay.
one.
All right.
Name one of those Apollo 13 astronauts that has a Colorado connection.
Colorado.
I don't know.
Connection.
It's not Lovell. Maybe Schweikert.
You're right.
There you
He
go.
was a congressman. He
Oh, okay.
won the election.
That's right. That's
But he
right.
passed away before
And then he
got
died. Yeah.
deferred.
Yeah.
And that is how Dan Schaefer became congressman. And that was a new district at that time. That was the 5th district. And then the 6th district, that was held by Tom Tancredo for many years. And then he decided, I'm going to run for president. And he never held the seat again. And it was taken over by Mike Kaufman, who is now the mayor of Aurora, Colorado, who got defeated in the last election by Jason Crow, who, by the way, was one of the attorneys in the impeachment. He was the head attorney.
You're likely to have a part of the impeachment party being nominated as for vice president on a Biden ticket.
He has, Michael. Art has run for office.
Yes. Yeah, I ran for state house and state senate.
I'm talking about Val Demings.
Oh, yes. I talked about her on my show several times. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That she makes Hillary Clinton look like a little angel. This
Yeah.
woman.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
No,
She-
they're all apart in the same batch.
Yeah, but this woman, her
Oh.
husband is now mayor of Orange County,
Orlando, yeah.
Orlando. She was the police chief
Yep.
Yeah.
in Orange County. They are bad news.
Yeah. Well, supposedly she's not on the top hit list. For him,
I
so-
hope not. I don't know whether she or Kamala Harris is worse. I don't know which one is worse. They're all come out of the same mold,
Yeah.
and it's got nothing to do with their color either. Has to
No.
do with their ethics. and
Yep.
morals. Unbelievable. And Biden, we're not voting for Biden ain't gonna make it if he gets
No.
elected. He ain't gonna be around. He ain't gonna be around too long. Whoever runs for vice president, they may as well say, you're voting for president.
Mm-hmm.
And what really
Yeah,
scares me about the current situation is if something happens to both Pence and Trump, we got Nancy Pelosi as president.
And she brought that up the other day in the press conference. That was the scariest point for her bringing it up.
Are you kidding? How do people like that? Well, I know how, but how do we let them? How do we let them get into positions of power that they have?
It's all families.
Yep. And we could talk
Look,
about
somebody's voting for him. I mean, the American people are. Discount the fraud and the stolen votes and all that other stuff. The American people basically are still voting for these people.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Here we are talking about politics.
Okay, we'll talk about it tomorrow on Art's Place.
There you go.
On Art's Place.
I was going to say one of the cool things though about that movie about Apollo 13. Just as a closer on my end. When I was taking to get my project management credentials, one of the last classes you took, it's a combination of all your classes you've done, and you take everything you learned for the whole entire course seminar, and it's one final. So every element of going for your degree and get your certificate over the PMI, the instructor had us watch that movie, and I was going, oh, really? I have to watch that movie? And then it was all about project management and teamwork.
Okay.
And if you watch that movie and you take away everything, the excitement and everything,
Right.
and you look at the project management behind it and the teamwork taken into it, and then you pull all those elements, the bad elements, the good elements, and everything out of it, and the end resolve is no, they're not gonna die here. They're gonna make it to here, and we're gonna bring them back.
Yeah.
And the whole entire, I should say, dissertation that we had to come up with had to be 100 pages long. Everything breaking down that movie and bringing everything in as like a final project for it, and bringing it back together. It was like I watched that movie almost 35 times during the time I was watching that in order to pick up bits and pieces and everything along the way that you don't really even think about, and how much and really to life that is an everyday type of thing of a teamwork, of a project team working together to solve the problem after problem after problem after problem that they had in order to make them home and bring them home.
Well,
That's
they did add a lot of. I mean, they added they took poetic license and added a drama to the movie that exceeded the drama that actually happened. There's been I've seen a couple of really good documentaries on Apollo 13 with the real footage and the real guys and interviews with the people that were really there. And it was, it was everything that it made out, but the movie just that's one of the best jobs Hollywood ever did. If they put in a lot of drama, but the drama didn't change the story.
No.
That much. The story was pretty true to the facts. Anyway, Art, I'm going to head on out. And
all right. Well, thank you for coming in, and stay safe. And get gas for your generator. And
I did. I'm all set. I got everything I need. Like I say, I don't think it's going to be that big a deal, except it may knock my live stream out tomorrow night. So
get all your
it's going to be what it's going to be
out, and say, okay, which movie am I going to watch today? And
there you go.
When that's done, there you go.
I'm going to work. I'm going to work on that. That's my project for tomorrow is get that airplane, get everything back in, get the radio, make sure everything's working, get it ready to fly. And
you know what you need? You need to put pontoons on that plane.
No thanks. All right, buddy.
All right, take care.
Take care, Mitch.
All right.
Good to see you, sir.
Steve, good to
Thanks.
see you, and good night to everybody in the chat. Weather permitting, I'll see you all tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, take care. All right. Well, Steve, looks like it's just two of us, and we got Fly High Ireland. Welcome
Gareth,
to the
hello.
show, Michael Blade.
Yeah, Gareth, Fly High Ireland.
Garrett. Okay.
Yep. He does some beautiful flights, and what he's done lately, Rod Piker, who I know you follow. It's I would say Gareth has gone off doing a lot of filming and flying like Rod with a history lesson and everything. Check him out. If you're not subscribed to your channel, he put one out today. I haven't seen the one that came out today, but he's done some beautiful flights that he's done of castles and historic points, and he does it like Rod does. He gives you the whole history, or at least what he can find, and puts it in the description. So it's like you're getting this history lesson while just looking at a short 4 or 5 minute video that gives you the flight. He's done a really nice job.
Wow, neat. And that's kind of stuff that I would like to do, but the problem is a lot of the historic sites are like, oh, you can't really fly there. Well, you could, but there's a school over here that was built at the end of the 19th century. It's Westminster Castle, and it's one of the buildings on the historic
registry.
Yeah, that's right. Now, here's the kicker. I could fly outside that area. I could fly my drone and then just do kind of a cursory flight around it. But I can't. It's kind of like flying in a state or a state park. You can't launch from the park, but you could fly into the park. So I think that's the loophole that I found. So I was able to get that cool video. And I want to go back there now because everything is green. Because when I took that video, that was like early spring before the leaves came out.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to do like a seasonal one. Go over there after a snowstorm and get it with the snow on the building.
All 4 seasons show.
There you go.
Like once a quarter. That would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's like he's saying over here, there's a lot of old history and has a lot of old untouched and unseen for years. Mm-hmm. And that's the point. They're allowed to fly over that stuff to where, like you're saying, you can't take off right there, but if you can get outside and then fly in and go around it. And I'm sure that there's locations over there that they have that, restriction.
For example, we have Camp Amachi, which was a Japanese internment camp. Mm-hmm. And I was down that way, and I was like really hesitant to fly there. And it wasn't until a while after I did that, I go, hey, wait a minute. I could have flown outside the area, but that was with the Mavic Air. And that as good as that drone is, it's still twitchy because it is a Wi-Fi drone.
Yeah.
Where with the Autel Evo, it's very similar to OcuSync. So you got a much more reliable signal there. Mm-hmm. Where with every time I flew that Mavic Air, I was always getting a lost signal warning. Mm-hmm. And it always just made my butt kind of clench. And then I look around and I go, and I look at the screen, and well, it hasn't crashed and it hasn't gone off anymore. So I guess I'm okay. But it's just that constant it just it gnawed at me. So,
Yeah.
or I think the Autel Evo gives you that sense of, oh, okay, I got a good signal and I don't have to worry about it flying away or crashing somewhere or
Well,
losing
the
signal.
the
Yeah,
Mavic Air 2, you'll be able to have that because there you've got
that's
OcuSync 2 in it.
that's
So
true. Hmm. And now I just ordered a new phone for it. So I
I,
got
I I heard you say that right
yeah.
before I came in.
Mhm. So it'll get here in 3 to 5 days. So I'm trying to. I can't wait to get that. Then I can finally fly this. But Sean's coming down here to Denver, so hopefully he'll stop by and he can help me dial in everything and get everything the way he's got his setup. Because when I flew his, it just flew like a piece of cake. It was just awesome to
There's not
fly.
much to do, Art, because
Yeah,
there's no controls like on the Go4 app to where you can control. Well, I don't think you could do it on the Mavic Original Air, but like on the Mavic Pro, you can adjust gimbal speed and all that. You can't adjust any of that stuff yet, even on the Fly app. It's
right.
supposed to be on the next release of the Fly app. It's pretty easy. I mean, it really is.
Hmm.
And the setup is probably half of what it is on the Go4 app.
Right. And well, he's got his set up to HDR, which the video is just awesome on it. And,
Yeah.
and that's what really uh, knocked me out with that, and the
Hmm.
way it handled, and now I'm hearing that they may have you might be able to use a smart controller down the line, and that would be really nice to have.
Yeah, because supposedly everything that does have OcuSync 2, will work on because the last release, they allowed the Phantom 4 V2 to work on the
Oh,
smart
okay, cool,
controller. So
cool,
it's
cool.
working now. So whether this next release comes out with it, I don't know. There's just rumors, but I know that I heard on some of the chats, um, like the Maverick group chat rooms on Facebook and other places, they were talking about how the controls for the gimbals, the controls for your skew, and that way you can slow it down.
Right, right, right. Welcome back, JDS Flying Canuck.
Yeah,
Oh
Bill
yeah,
saying,
Metro Drone has. Yeah, I wish they'd make it with a bigger. Yeah, that would be nice. But you don't want it like you remember the old Unique Typhoon.
Mhm.
That thing had a big ass controller. My friend Tim Herbert from Kansas, when he came out to visit me last year, he brought his Typhoon with him. He brought several drones with him, but he got to fly his Mavic Pro up in the
Mhm.
mountains there. Anyway, that thing's got a controller this big,
Yeah,
and it's got a screen in it. Kind
big
of like,
screen.
yeah, yeah, kind of like the smart control. Hey, Ron's here.
Yeah.
RL Photography. Welcome, welcome.
Hello,
Yeah.
Ron.
So yeah, that'll be awesome. So I'm really kind of jonesing to fly the Mavic Air 2. And the neat thing about that Fly More uh, combination, it came with a filter set,
Yeah.
which the Mavic Air didn't have. I had to go and buy that. So
Well, remember one thing though, Art, that filter set they're very high level filters. They're not like your almost normal ones that you would use.
ah,
They're I forget what's in there, 32 64 or 32 128 and
Wow.
256, they're high. What I did buy is I bought the Freewell variable. It's only 2 filters. So it goes from 1 to 4 on the 1 filter step. And then the other one goes from 5 to 9.
Oh,
So you're not
nice.
having to have a bunch of separate filters. And I did get it. They were 40 some dollars for the 2 filters. I just received it this week, so I haven't tried them yet.
I'll have to, that might be something I'll get down the road. The other thing about the Autel Evo is it's a little bigger than the Mavic Air 2, but the battery is really big. And they only, Sean only has one, where the Mavic Air 2, I got three batteries. And which has a lot longer life than the Mavic Air did. I think those were about 10 to 12 minutes, maybe 15 tops. Where the Mavic Air 2s, they're around 25, 28 minutes from what I hear. So that'll be interesting to fly that. Now, when I had the Mavic Air 2, I normally just flew with, I think, an ND-16, maybe what was the next one?
8?
Yeah, I think that, huh?
8 lower or 32?
Up. So
32, 16, 32. They double. So
That's
4, 8, 16, 32. And just a correction, Tony corrected me, and thank you, Tony. It's a 16. That's the smallest. That's the smallest in that 3 package.
Okay. Interesting. So.
Tom. I'm sorry, Tom.
Tom. Yeah. Yeah, you met him down there, didn't you?
Yeah, Spin Up.
Yeah.
I don't know why people told me his name was Tony. And I was calling him Tony there at Spin Up too. My apologies, sir.
Yeah, that was a great group of people there at Spin Up. I had a really great time, and now, are you coming out here to Spin Down?
I have my reservation set. Unless something unforeseen comes up, I'm set.
Well, I'm going to need a ride up there because, about my altitude issues. And so, yeah. So if I could hitch a ride with you, that'd be awesome. And then what I'll do is I'll go and reserve a room as well. Yeah. Cool. And Michael Wright, he's going to be at Spin Down. All right, cool.
Yeah, they're sold out.
Yeah, that's right. So there's going to be 50 of us, did they say? Yeah. So
yeah, 50, and they're going to take a waiting list. Because I was asking Kelly that. I go, well, what happens if, only one finger crossed, that if it does lift and they allow more people, so more people can come.
Oh, yeah, Four-Eyed Canine. He lives in Windsor, so yeah, he's got a van, so that'd be cool. Cool, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, because it depends if my wife goes or not. If my wife goes, we're gonna take a road trip. If she doesn't go, I was just gonna catch the shuttle from the airport up there.
Okay, cool. Oh, okay. So he's in Longmont. Okay, cool. Yeah, because I'm not far from I-70, so yeah, you could just come down 25 and take 76, and then you just get off at Sheridan, go north, and I'm right here. And then going back, all you have to do is get back on 76, and that runs right into I-70, and yeah, head on up. So, and let's see. So if we could leave, I don't know what time you get off work. If we could, because I'm home by 3 p.m. So if we get out of here and head up there, we get up there around 5 o'clock at the latest. Hopefully, if there's no traffic jams, we could make it in an hour. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ron says, I can't make it, but stop being in South Dakota on your way home.
Yeah, but I won't put it past surprise because Linda's seen some of Ron's photos and stuff. And I go, I know if he was free, if we were up there, even if we went by and drive through that way and come back the northern route and came back down,
Right.
you know.
Well, right above Idaho Springs, there's a bunch of abandoned gold mines.
Mhm.
Oh, I would love to fly up there.
Well, the one thing I'm looking forward to is if, knock on wood, at that time we're going to be there, that's going to be a perfect change of season colors, and all the
that's right.
gold and red colors should be across all the trees.
You won't
everywhere.
see any red.
Why?
Because the only trees that we have up there are aspen and pine trees.
Now, I've seen some colored trees out there.
There might be some shrub.
I'm talking big tree. Now, I'm talking regular full-size trees that had reddish color to them.
Yeah, it might be the shrub oaks.
Okay.
Up there, yeah. Because there aren't very many hardwood trees growing up in that elevation. It'll be like aspen. You know, aspens are kind of like cottonwoods. They grow where they send out feeders and then they pop up.
Right.
Cottonwoods, the reason they're called cottonwoods is in the spring, they have like cotton blossoms, and you'll have your male and your female. And the male trees has these purplish looking, almost berry like looking things, and they always stain your driveway when they fall to the ground. Well, they pollinate those that cotton, and the cotton would float around. They would land somewhere, and that's how they propagate the species, by kind of like a dandelion.
I will, Ron. Michael's asking about questions about the gold mine, and the other one is Sean. Actually, Sean has done some photographing trips and drone flying on a couple of Sean Oz, is who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
he's done some videos on his channel of abandoned gold mines up there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true, and they grow real fast, and they grow really tall, and they'll live like 200 or 300 years. And what'll happen is then they'll die off, and you got this huge rotted tree sitting there. That's why if you see dry riverbeds, you'll see a whole bunch of cottonwood trees. If you ever go out on the plains of Colorado and you see a whole line of cottonwood trees, that's where there's probably a dry riverbed. In the spring, that river will be flowing through there, and you'll see a lot of dead cottonwood trees that are most likely fallen over, and then they become home to little critters. You know, like woodpeckers and those small owls.
Yeah.
And all kinds of birds and mammals and snakes and stuff like that. So.
So I love that. But what he said, what Michael was saying though about the cottonwood trash trees.
Yeah, Devil's Tower, yep, is west of Spearfish. Been there, drove right by there on the way back home from South Dakota.
I will, Ron. Thank you.
Oh, boy. Oh, fourth grade
Yeah.
teacher inhaled the cottonwood. Oh. Hey, Mike is here. Night Train, welcome,
Yeah.
welcome.
And the Flying Canuck is in.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. One of the, living in California, we don't have 4 seasons here. And I mean, if we go up to like say wine country, or you get places up in there, even there, the grapevines will turn the colors, and you'll see the trees in that area being inland enough. But we don't see it here on the coast. We don't have a change of trees, except for I do have a maple tree in the front, and we have a liquid amber in the back. So those are the only 2 trees that I'll see around us that'll change color.
Right.
Mainly it's palm trees and pine trees and, the evergreens. But when I got a chance I was working for a company called Simplex Time Recorder, and they are in the town of Gardner, Massachusetts. And we had a day free that we went out golfing. Well, it was cloudy and overcast, and it's a beautiful community golf course at the very north end of the lake that this town sits on. And the stream runs right through the middle of the fairway. And there's, like little bridge ramps that go up over the stream area. And I'm on top and I'm stopping. I'm going like this. My mouth just dropped open. We were there at the very end of September, and it was like that Kodak moment. You're looking at this church steeple coming up through the trees, and everything is red, golden, oranges, all these gorgeous colors. And the lake was like a mirror. There wasn't a ripple on it. And they're going, Steve, come on. I'm going, wait a second. Going, you'll see plenty of that. I says, no, you don't understand. We don't have that where I come from. I'd never seen anything like that.
Yep.
Yeah, the 4 seasons is something we don't see here unless you get up in the mountains. But then we don't have the trees like the rest of the United States has to change colors, because they're pine trees mainly up there and a few other ones.
Yep. Yeah, in Michigan, they got a lot of hardwoods there. They've got oak and a lot of maple and walnut trees and cherry trees, birch trees. Oh, boy, they got all kinds of hardwoods. And then in the fall, orange, yellow, red. Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Mount Rushmore, yep.
Oh, yeah.
Better get there while you can before they blow it up.
Yeah. Oh, I'll have a great way of getting through that. I'll be one of those wild guys that you're in the road. You're not supposed to be in the road.
Yep, that's right. Mm-hmm.
I'll check that video out. Thank you.
Oh, we had one of those here in Colorado last week where some idiots decide. You saw that? Oh, you know that guy that drove that Jeep through there? They're going to charge him with attempted murder.
Yeah, of course they are.
I'm like going, really? Really?
It's like up in Portland. The people are walking in the middle of the night on the freeway and cars coming in, and the guy, swerves and hits one person, but he didn't take out the whole crowd. But now they're going to charge him. Excuse me, who in the hell? I would be filing a lawsuit against the mayor and against the governor for their allowing those people to be on a freeway. Period.
Yep.
No ifs, ands, or buts.
Yep, that's true.
That's interstate highway.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And these are one of the topics we'll talk about on Art Place.
Oh, I know. I can't wait till tomorrow because there's been so much that's happened.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping Casper Stockham will be back. I have him booked. Hopefully he'll be. Haven't heard from him today, and I forgot to reach out to him today to remind him about the show. Yep. So I'm still trying to work on getting Lauren Bobert. She's the gal from Rifle, Colorado.
Hi, I was just saying goodnight to Rick. He was leaving out.
Good night, Rick.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yes, Lauren beat a incumbent Republican in the primary, and she's the little gal that has the restaurant up at Rifle, Colorado, where all the wait staff carries.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it's called Shooters.
Yep.
Yep.
She's been on TV many times.
Oh yeah, she's. Oh, I was on a live stream with her this week. She was one of the speakers. You know who Mark Geis is?
Yeah, Mark Dice. I've been following him for years and years and years.
He was on before, and his story about Benghazi just blew me away. Yeah. And then Lauren came on after that, and she was great. And so hopefully if I could get her on, that would just blow up the channel.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Yeah, Mark, I've been following Mark for probably about 4 years or 5 years. Yeah. Great books he's written. He's got a couple of really good books out.
And he's from Colorado.
Mark Dice? He's from right down south of me here.
Mark Geis.
Oh, Geis. I'm sorry. I thought you said Dice.
No, he's one of the guys from Benghazi.
Okay.
Yeah. With Tonto Peranto and anyway, those guys, telling us the story about what happened on that fateful night. It was just Geis with a G.
I will go back and look it up. Yeah, I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. I heard you I thought you said Dice with the D-I-C-E. He's a conservative guy that has a YouTube channel here.
Oh, not Andrew Dice Clay.
Nope. No, he was part of the group that got invited to the White House and everything else over there when that occurred. He's got like 1.5 million subscribers, but he's locked in just like a lot of the other ones. They aren't growing. They're stifled because they did with that phony BS that they had him there at Congress with.
Yeah. Gee. And Michigan Adventures. Let's see. I'm trying to remember. What part of Michigan are you from? I think are you like in the Detroit area, like around Livonia and that area? That's where Congressman Thaddeus McCotter is from. Oh, he was great when I had him on a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, let's. We got a couple more minutes, then we can make it 2.5 hours.
There you go. TikTok. The app that Microsoft's going to be buying out.
Oh, I heard about that. So, man. You know what's funny is I have that, and I watch that, and I'm like going, and I get fixated on it. It's like some of these, there are a lot of cosplayers on that channel, and some of those costumes and makeup, these gals, and some of the stuff that they do, it just it was like, wow, and I was thinking the other day, it's like, back when I was a kid, we used to call them drag queens.
Yep.
We
Take
used
care,
to,
Ron. Thanks for stopping
like,
in.
it reminded me of Flip Wilson as Geraldine. Remember Geraldine?
Can you imagine that today?
Oh man, this is
The
way
the
before
devil made me do
RuPaul.
it.
Yeah. How about Liberace? He would fit right in with TikTok and cosplay. He was like the forefront of cosplay. Elton John,
Yep.
David Bowie with all those
Mhm.
weird costumes. Uh,
Yep.
oh, Kiss. I mean, they're the ultimate cosplayers right there.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Ozzy, well, he wasn't much into the makeup and stuff like that, but Alice Cooper,
Oh, Alice Cooper. Yeah.
Alice Cooper, and you remember Arthur Brown, the Mad World of Arthur Brown, fire, dun, dun,
No.
dun, fire, dun, dun. Now he's the one that started the face makeup,
Okay.
and I think that's where Alice Cooper or Vincent Fournier got his idea from that. Who, by the way, is from Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah.
Mhm.
David Bowie, Ziggy Stardust,
Ziggy
Steve
Stardust.
Mackesy.
All right. Well, we made it to 2.5 hours, and we are still at 17, and I'm getting a. Okay, so let's shut this bad boy down. I want to thank everybody for coming to the show. And Auburn Hills, Michigan, I know where that is. I went to college there at Oakland Community College in Auburn Hills, Michigan. So,
And the town went down ever since Art was there. Is that what happened to it?
They tore down the palace, the Auburn Hills Palace. That's where the Red Wings and the Pistons used to play. Anyway,
Really?
Auburn Hills, yeah. OCC, we used to call Only Chance College.
Only Chance College. In fact, we have a college here called OCC.
This was Oakland Community College. Yep. All right. So thank you, everybody. And don't forget my Teespring. And I also have a tip jar if you want to leave a few bucks. That's greatly appreciated. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you either tomorrow on Art's Place or we'll see you next week. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.
Take care, everybody.
Oh, now Marcus shows up. Great time, Marcus.
Hello, Marcus.
Okay. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Have a good weekend, everybody.